What's going on, vapors? Vaping Cowboy here again. I know it's been a long time, but I'm back, at least for now. A lot of stuff has gone on since my last video. Did a lot of remodeling in the whole house, basement specifically. So today I'm just going to do a little review on, it might be old to you. I've had it for, I would say, about 4 months, but it's the Reload RTA. Good things about this RTA are that it gives you good flavor. It can give you wonderful vapor. It comes in 3 different finishes. We got silver, black, and gold. I got the black version. I bought this on Vape Block app from the company itself. Cost me, when I bought it at the time, cost me about $75. Right now I can see you can get it on Vape Block from them for around $70. There's also some websites out there that are also selling this for $69.99, basically $70. I'm not sure about the shipping on those. With the Vape Block app and buying it from them themselves, the $75, which is now $70, is free shipping on that. Other websites will more than likely charge you for that. Let's go over some of the pros and cons that I've used it for now for 3, maybe 4 months. I'm not absolutely certain on what I have when I bought it. I'd have to look back in my app. But within the 3-4 months, pros are, it's a pretty decent sized tank. Not as big as I would like, especially running dual coil mode. I'm not gonna go down, tear it apart, show you the deck. If you want to see that, you can see multiple other reviewers do that. It's just a gold-plated deck. It's got the airflow on the bottom. On the bottom here, it's got your two posts on here where you put your coils in there, and then you tighten it down, fire them up, get them glowing really well. That's not an issue for me. Another pro for this is the drip tip that it has. It's a wide bore, more than I like. It's got plenty of airflow. If you want to close the airflow off, you just have to turn it off if it's going to cooperate. Yeah, it's not cooperating right now. There's a few cons with this RTA. Or RTA, I apologize. Con number 1, if you're not good at wicking your coils, and specifically in this tank itself, you are going to get major leakage. I use more of a higher VG than I do PG, so it's not quite as bad. The first few times that I used it, I would fill this tank all the way up, and then when I'd tighten down that top cap, it would just come out the sides, and like right now I have some fluid in there. This is one thing that I just cannot absolutely stand about this tank itself. Yes, it's a good tank, but having to constantly be an expert in wicking this device is more than a pain than I believe that it's worth. Let me see, it's a good consistent vape when you have it working properly. Nothing out there is better that I've had so far. As of late, I haven't really bought much stuff, especially some stuff to review. I actually did get a new mod, the Smoke or the Smock Alien. Very decent mod. I haven't had any issues with it. I actually upgraded the firmware on there, which was pretty easy. I know there's some out there that are not as easy, but this review isn't about the Alien. It's about this Reload RTA. Let me see. If you have too much wicking in there, it's gonna leak. If you don't have enough, it's gonna leak. You know, you have to find that balance in between just enough and just not enough, if that makes any sense. When you're going ahead and you're actually wicking this, you want to measure because on the deck itself there's these little holes here where the air comes through, and also that's where the juice well is. Well, your wick comes down here, and you want it in there, but you don't want it all the way in there. If it's all the way in there, when you fill it up and you tighten down that top cap, juice is going to just come out those air holes, and it's absolutely a pain, in my opinion. Now, another con I would say is I would have liked more juice capacity for this tank. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good tank if you're an expert wicker, if you know exactly the ins and outs of that. But for someone beginning out, this is going to be very frustrating. And as I stated, that I did use I did use this RTA for about 3 to 4 months, and eventually I just got sick and tired of wasting juice because it would be coming out. Even though I use a thicker juice. If I used a thinner juice, say a 50-50 blend, I would have lost a lot more juice. Now, I'm not saying I'm an expert wicker, but I am halfway decent, and normally it takes 2 to 3 tanks after you wicked it, in my opinion, and through what I have done. It usually takes me about 2 to 3 tanks to get that wicking just right with the cotton that you have in there before it stops leaking as much. But every time that I wick it, it's still, and then I refill it, it always leaks on me. So that's a big con for me. Let me see, what else do we have? I guess, this is a product that I bought directly from the company that makes it, so it's not a clone. Actually, I haven't even done any research if there are clones out there, but more than likely there are. If you don't want to spend $70-$75 on this, then I would recommend at least try. And you want to try it, at least try and see if you can find a clone. I know that the clones have gotten a lot better over the last year and a half that I've been gone, so that's always a positive. It's not a positive for the companies that are putting their brains together to make these devices, because it's taking money out of their pockets. But obviously not everybody can afford to spend $60, $70, $80 for a device that you're only going to use for a few months. If you're more patient than I am, I mean, I was pretty patient, 3 to 4 months, and it was still leaking. So I went back to my Sapor dripper there. I absolutely love that dripper there. I have a few items that are coming in the mail here. One I was going to buy from the company, but they've been out of stock for quite a while. It's called the Tank. It's a clone, obviously. I would have rather bought it from, I believe his name is Scott Tua. I'm not sure on that, but yeah, that tank is $250, and then you can also get a bunch of spare parts or different setups for it. But I got one of those coming in. I don't know when it's going to come in, but I'll use that for probably about 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month, and then I'll do a review on the clone aspect of it. It's supposed to be a very great tank. I do have a Prince coming in. I did buy the Meg without the tank, just due to the fact that I didn't want to buy the tank with the kit and then have to go out and buy the deck to rebuild my own. I don't like using those coils. I haven't used those pre-made insert coils for, I think the last one I used was the Nautilus, which was a long time ago. I prefer to build my own coils, do my own wicking. So I bought a Prince, got a really good deal on it, authentic Prince, along with the rebuildable deck. None of those coils. There might be some coils that come with it. I'm not sure. I guess I didn't really look at that. I just wanted the tank itself with the rebuildable deck. I got a bunch of juice that I ordered at around Christmas time, New Year's Eve time. So some of that did come in, and then I'll be doing another review on those juices as well. Overall, you know, I'm neutral on this tank here. It's I can only give it probably about 3.5, maybe 4 for it out of a 5, just for the fact that it just leaks too damn much. And it may be something that I'm doing wrong, but you know, I don't have time to sit and spend an hour trying to wick a tank when I just want to get new coils built, wick it up, put the juice in there, and vape on it. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's a good tank. It gives me good flavor. It gives me plenty of flavor. I actually just started using this again within the last week, just so I could get re-familiar with the tank itself, since it had been quite a while since I used it last. So, question begs is that if I was to lose everything, would I go out and buy this tank again? No, probably not. Not to the fact that it was $75 or $70. The fact is that it doesn't have a big enough juice capacity for me. I like to have, the tanks that I use, I like to have a lot of juice in there. And, you know, this wouldn't be so bad. I mean, the ml capacity on this tank would be fine. As long as if it was a single coil. But with dual coil, I'm using a lot of juice, and normally one tank is going to last me maybe half a day, and when I'm at work, I don't really like to bring juice. That's why I have a tank. So the last week I've been bringing my bottle of juice to work to fill it up during my lunch. That way it at least lasts me the rest of the day until I get home. Another thing is it's just leaking. I just don't I don't like that. So would I buy it again? No, probably not. But you know, that's just my personal preference. But again, don't get me wrong, it is a good tank, and if you can get it to work properly, then it's a great tank. I know that Grim Green did a review on this as well, and he says he absolutely loves this tank, and that's fine and well. You know, he's been doing this a lot longer than I have. So yeah, that's about all I have for this. I'll take another vape here. So if you are in the market, if you're an excellent wicker, or you're very more patient than I am about wicking and making sure that tanks don't leak, especially this one, go out and give it a try. Personally, I wouldn't buy it again, and more than likely I will just finish vaping this tank, clean it up, and then I will put it back on my shelf, and that's where it will stay. So this is the Vaping Cowboy. Just make sure you're vaping hard, my friends, and we'll see you again.